So let us continue about the manufacturing topics. Okay. Okay. So this is the flow of products and period cost. This is flow of product and period cost. Okay. So the total cost here involved is 200,000, for example. This 200,000 is the total cost of maybe wages and salaries and other costs. It comes from the factory 100,000. From the factory is 100,000. Okay. And for other activities, for example, selling and distributions, okay, admin, the cost is 100,000. So the total cost here is 200,000. You can break it down into 100,000 and 100,000. 100,000 and 100,000. Okay. So with the finished good, the products of our total cost of finished good is 100,000. We can split this item into the sold and unsold item. If we sell all these item, so all these costs, the product cost will be our cost of sale if we sell everything. But since we are not able to sell maybe 20% of the items, so the 20% will be our inventories. This is our inventories. It appear in our balance sheet. Maybe this is the 20%. Yeah. So this is our asset. This is the assets. The assets. Okay. And the amount sold to the customer is 80%. This is your cost of sale, the cost of sales, 80,000. So the total cost is 100,000. The unsold item is known as inventory, 20,000. And the balance 80,000 is for the cost of sales, 80,000. Okay. So for the selling and distribution expense, it does not directly related to producing the product. So this will be your selling and admin expense. This is your period cost. I call it that this is your period cost. That does not directly related to producing the finished goods. Okay. Next year, if you sold the item, the 20,000 next year, so from the inventory, you will go to the cost of sale. This is the following year. Following year. So this is the breakdown between the product cost and period cost. The difference between product cost and period cost. Okay. So the flow of manufacturing cost element corresponds to the physical flow of products through the production process. The accounting process must record the manufacturing cost element as they are incurred so they can be accumulated as asset and then expensed once the related product are sold. So this is the description about this. The cost of finished product consists of three basic cost elements. What is the cost of the finished product? Direct material, the labor, and also the factory overhead. Direct material, the raw material needed to produce the finished good. The direct labor is the employees or the worker who directly involved in producing the product, manufacture the product, and other factory overhead costs. Not the HQ. This is the factory overhead cost. Electricity, yeah, maybe the rental, maybe the depreciations of the factory. Okay. So what is the direct material cost? The cost of raw material directly traceable to the finished product is called direct material. cost. Yeah, cost that raw material directly traceable to the finished product is called direct material cost. Since direct material physically become part of the finished product, they can be traced to the product or in some situation batches of the product. So you know which product. For example, there are car manufacturer who have some default in their system. They can call back the product because they can trace which car, which unit use different component or different parts. Yeah. So this is what we call as direct material cost. So for every finished good, they you can trace the cost of the raw material. What are the components? If you manufacture a car, so there might be 1,000 component. There 1,000 items need to build a unit of car, a car. So that is what we call as direct material. Maybe the tire, the seat, the engine, the gear, yeah, the seat belt, everything, yeah. So that is direct material cost. Direct material do not usually include small low-cost items such as lubricant, glue, screw, or nail, which are treated as indirect material and included in the factory overhead. I know maybe some things like small, maybe glue, nail, screw, this is also direct material involved in the process of manufacturing because this is too small, insignificant. We don't want to count to up that level. So we put that into indirect material. So it go under factory overhead. It go under factory overhead. So direct labor is the wages paid to employees whose time and cost can be traced to the product are classified as direct labor. Direct labor who worked directly, devoted his time to complete the process, so it's known as direct labor cost. Normally the factory employees, yeah. As long as the employee perform tasks that can be identified specifically with the conversion of a direct material into finished good, the labor is a direct cost. Maybe you have a labor involved in cutting the raw material, involved in painting, yeah, involved in scrubbing. So that labor is a direct labor. Why? Because it involved in a process of transforming uh, one item from one step to another step, from one type to another type. So that is the direct labor cost. Direct labor cost. So in manufacturing, the total of direct labor cost and direct material cost is referred as the prime cost. So what is a prime cost? Prime cost, the formula is direct material plus direct labor. Okay, please write down this formula. What is prime cost? Prime cost is direct material plus direct labor. Direct material plus direct labor. So this is the prime cost, the main cost. Factory overhead is all manufacturing costs except direct material and direct labor. All these things will be included as factory overhead. It can be incurred in the both production and service department. Production means department that involved in producing the product. Service department is other department that help the factory to run smoothly. For example, maybe the security guard, yeah, the factory manager that is more on service department. Allocation of common costs. Several costs such as rent, depreciation, insurance, rates may be applicable in part to manufacturing and in part to selling and administrative costs. For example, you have this building. This is your building. Part of this building, this is the office. This is the office. So this is the factory. Factory. Okay. Factory, yeah. If you pay rent for 10,000 dirham, I think the office might occupy 25%. Am I right? So 2,500 will be your administration part of it, and another 75% or 7,500 can be classified as manufacturing. Yeah, this is factory or manufacturing. This is more on admin at 25%. So we can break the cost to manufacturing and administrative function. Admin, administrative and manufacturing functions. Yeah. Okay, the next one is factory overhead costs. A sign of service department costs. The service department provides support to the production department with activities such as maintenance, production control, inspection, stores, and engineering. So this is for the service department. Yeah, they provide helps support to the production department. For example, maintenance, production, inspections. Yeah, so this is what we call as service department. They provide service to the manufacturing department. Okay. The indirect nature of factory overhead costs prevent them from being traced to the product as direct material costs and direct labor costs. So the indirect mean they are not directly related to the process, to the product indirectly. Yeah, indirectly. So that is considered as factory overhead costs. Yeah. The indirect nature of factory overhead costs prevent them from being traced to the product as direct material cost or direct labor cost. For example, we have the labor who do the process, who do the activities, though that is direct labor. Maybe we have the supervisor or the line manager. So that is not directly involved in transforming the product from step one or step two, step three. Okay, it just monitor the process. So it's indirectly related in the production. So that one considered as factory overhead cost. Factory overhead cost. Any questions so far? Yeah. No. Okay. Mm, all clear. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Let me just, I want to skip this part. I want to show you how the formula works. Is it okay with you? I want you to show you several formula, important formula. Yeah. I'll go back. I'll do explain this formula, and I will ask you to do some calculations. Okay. Do some calculations, and then mm, we can go back to the theoretical part. Yeah. Let us go for the first one, the cost of sale. The cost of sales. The cost of sales. Okay. We have sales, then you minus cost of sales, from there you will get your gross profits. It's very easy. The cost of sale in manufacturing is beginning inventory plus net purchase minus ending inventory, that give you your cost of sales. But under manufacturing, it's different. It's going to be beginning inventory, opening stock of finished good, plus cost of good manufactured minus ending finished good. This will be your cost of sale. Instead of purchase, you have COGM. COGM, cost of good manufactured. So this is the formula will be opening stock of finished good plus cost of good manufactured minus your closing stock of finished good. So this gives you your cost of sale, your cost of sales. Are you okay with this? Opening stock of finished good. Can you write down this formula? Can you write down this formula somewhere? Can you write down this formula? Okay, so this is the first formula. Opening stock plus cost of good manufactured minus closing stock, that give you your cost of sales. This is the first formula you must know for the topic. Okay. Okay, how to determine the cost of good manufactured? This is formula number 2. This is formula number 2. The formula will be direct material use plus direct labor plus factory overhead plus your WIP opening, yeah, plus WIP opening, work in process, this is the opening, minus WIP closing or ending. Can you write down this formula? This will give you cost of good manufactured is equal to direct material plus direct labor plus factory overhead plus work in process opening minus work in process closing. This is your formula number 2. Okay, to determine the cost of goods manufactured. To determine the cost of sale, number 1 is cost of sale is equal to your opening stock, your finished good opening plus cost of good manufactured minus finished good closing. This is formula number 1. To determine your cost of good manufactured, you need to use this formula. Cost of good manufactured is equal to direct material plus direct labor plus factory overhead plus work in process opening minus work in process closing. Are you okay with this? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. How to determine direct material? There's a formula. There are few formula you need to remember. Can you write down this? Yes? Okay. If you look at this statement, this is the statement for retail business. It's very easy. Income minus cost of sale. Cost of sale is opening stock, opening inventory plus purchases minus closing inventory. For manufacturing, sale minus opening finished good plus cost of good manufactured, okay, minus ending inventory. So you get cost of sale. Basically, it's almost the same, but here is cost of goods manufactured or COGM. Cost of good manufactured. Cost of goods manufactured. Okay. So what is cost of good manufactured statement? The cost of good manufactured statement is a statement showing the calculation to determine the cost of goods manufactured. So how we use this statement? Number 1, the cost of good manufactured COGM is equal to direct material plus direct labor plus factory overhead plus WIP opening minus WIP closing. So that is the formula. So how to determine direct material? The formula for direct material is opening direct material plus purchases of direct material minus closing direct material. So direct material, the formula is raw material opening plus purchases minus raw material closing. Yeah, closing. So this is a formula for direct material. Direct labor is straightforward. Factory overhead is all the costs relate to the factory. It can be indirect labor, supplies, electricity, rent, insurance, rent and taxes, depreciation, miscellaneous related to factory. Not selling, yeah, related to factory. Okay, so you have direct material, direct labor, factory overhead, and then you plus work in process opening, plus work in process at the beginning, and then minus work in process the closing. Work in process the closing. Okay, are you okay with this? So let me write the formula for every one of you. Let me just put it together, make it easy. What are the formula that you must know? Number one is direct material is equal to raw material. I put a bracket here, opening, plus purchases minus raw material closing. Is it okay? What is the cost of good manufactured? The formula is direct material plus direct labor plus factory overhead plus WIP, work in process, opening minus WIP closing. Okay. And then what is your cost of sales? Cost of sale is equal to your finished good opening plus purchases and not plus COGM, cost of good manufactured, okay, minus finished good closing. So this is the important formula. This is the formulas. Okay, formulas. Can you write down this or take this photo? And I'm giving you some exercise to do now. Yeah, some exercise to do now. Okay. Okay, done. Done. Okay. So I want you, I'll give you for those who attend here, I'll give you one exercises. Let me share my screen there. I want you to do two things. Yeah, two things. I give you maybe half an hour to do that. Okay. I have to leave for there's a meeting, a short meeting, but I'll come back. Yeah, I want you to do this one. Attempt this participation activity lecture. So I want you to write down the formula to calculate the COGM. Can you write down so I know who attend the lecture here? This is cost. Yeah, I share the screen with you all. No, no. Sorry. I want you to go to this website, Moodle site. There's a participation activity lecture one. Number one. You click that one. Okay. There's a requirement there. Continue. Then, okay, the system will ask you write down the formula to calculate the cost of good manufactured COGM. So I want you to write down the correct formula and click the submit button. Is it okay? Yes. So I know who attend the class today. That is number one. Number two, I want you to go to the participation for manufacturing. Okay, let me give you the first one. Review options. Okay. I want you to try the first one, self-study practice week 1, manufacturing. Is it okay? Yeah, self-study practice week 1. Yeah. So I will join back at 10:30. Is it okay? 10:30 I'll come back and we discuss the questions. If you finish early, you can have a break. So I have to leave this meeting. There's another meeting that I should join. Yeah. I'll come back at 10:30. Thank you so much. Please do the questions.